As a company administrator, you can specify certain driver permissions which dictate which action drivers are allowed to perform. This gives you more control of your company and ensures that drivers are forced to follow these guidelines. To view the permissions, you can go to Settings on the left-hand menu here, and then Permissions. The following are custom permissions that can be turned on or off from dispatch. Let's go through ride management. Cancel rides. This setting indicates whether drivers can cancel rides from the driver app. This is helpful for drivers to report that the customer has indicated to them that they no longer need the ride. Rejecting accepted rides. This setting indicates whether drivers can reject accepted rides from the driver app. This means that the driver will be unassigned and the trip will go back into the available pool for other drivers to be assigned. Other drivers can find this ride on the available rides list from the EverTransit driver app. It is important to note that if a driver rejects an accepted ride, the ride will not go back into auto dispatch. It will just go into the list of available rides on the driver apps for drivers to choose from. Mark rides en route. If enabled, drivers will be required to manually swipe to indicate when they are en route to the customer's pickup location. If disabled, the first required swipe action will be to mark arrived as they are on scene. If mark rides en route is on, passengers will receive a text notification or a push notification if you have a custom app that their driver is en route to pick them up. Updating ride details. This setting indicates whether drivers can update the details of the ride from the driver app. If enabled, drivers can adjust details of the ride at any point. This includes updating passenger count, pickup location, and most importantly, pricing details. Customers will immediately be notified of any changes to the ride details. Billing. Charge rides via cash. This setting indicates whether rides can be marked paid in cash from the driver app. You may want to disable this if you charge rides exclusively via credit card. Charging via credit card. This setting indicates whether customer credit cards can be billed from the driver app. If this is enabled, drivers can immediately close out and bill rides after they are completed. Charging external. This setting indicates whether rides can be marked paid as external from the driver app. You may want to disable this if you charge rides exclusively via credit card. Charge invoice. This setting indicates whether rides can be marked paid via invoice from the driver app. This is only available for reservations that are made for accounts that you have set up. Regular customers are not able to have rides charged via invoice. View pricing. If disabled, drivers will not be able to see any pricing-related fields throughout the app. They are still able to add tolls and surcharges unless otherwise specified. Update pricing. If enabled, drivers will be able to update the ride's pricing from the driver app. Add surcharges. If disabled, drivers will not be able to add surcharges to a trip. They can still edit existing surcharges and add tolls, however. And the add tip. If disabled, drivers cannot add a tip from their driver app on behalf of the customer. If enabled, the app will require a customer signature when collecting a tip. Please note, if you have a custom app, the customer will be able to enter a tip from their own phone at the end of the ride. Available jobs. View and accept available jobs. This setting determines whether drivers are able to accept jobs that do not have a driver yet. If enabled, drivers can view and ride directly through the driver app under the available rides list. Notify all drivers when a ride is created. If enabled, all online drivers will receive a push notification that a ride has been created as long as that ride is not manually assigned to a driver. Drivers will only be notified of newly created rides that currently do not have a driver. View destinations before accepting. If disabled, drivers will not see the destination of available trips, whether browsing the available rides tab or during auto dispatch. This is helpful if you find drivers are not accepting enough available rides due to the destination. Limit to within a radius of location. If enabled, drivers will only see available rides within a pickup location, within the radius of the driver's location. If auto dispatch is enabled, this will also apply to auto assignments. The vehicle section here. Drive any vehicle in fleet. If enabled, this will allow drivers to choose from any vehicle in the vehicle list before they go online. If disabled, they will only be able to see vehicles that they are specifically approved to drive. When editing a vehicle under the vehicle section in dispatch, you can add drivers to a list of approved drivers who are able to use that vehicle. Drive their own vehicle. This will determine if drivers can add and use vehicles that they add themselves through the EverTransit driver app. For example, if you want to manually approve vehicles that the driver creates, you can set the default status here to pending. which will allow you to review the details before approving the vehicle. If disabled, drivers will only be able to use vehicles that have been added by the company through dispatch. Make sure you click Save Changes to save all of your changes, and that's how you edit the driver permissions.